Welcome everyone. Today we'll have another news digest for Diablo 4. So in this video, we'll have a look at some of the endgame best install combinations for the legendary aspects, uniques, and also the skill ranking. So here we'll have a look at some of the tweets from the developers from Diablo about how you can get up to 18 plus skill ranks on a certain skill. And this is actually amazingly incredible in terms of damage scaling. So here we'll go through a lot of nodes of different gears that can provide damage scaling, and we'll have a look at the percentage of damage scaling for one of our previous builds, for the Druid build, and how this can scale over 10 million damage. So this is actually quite interesting to theorycraft, and also we'll be going through some of the rollings of different skill ranks onto different parts of the gears. We also have another new Excel shared by viewers, which I want to go through this one with you guys in this video as well. So you get to see a lot of work done onto different pieces of gear, which allows us to plan for different gears and also to be ready for the game when it's launch time. Now you can notice that I'm trying the dark mode for us because there's a lot of requests for this. Let me know what you guys think about the dark mode versus our previous version of the documents. If you like this mode, let me know in the comments, guys. So coming over to our notes. What we can see is this is a tweet from one of the developers from Diablo, and what David Briggs was saying is that we only experienced up to level 25. There's a lot more things to experience with Diablo, especially at the endgame. And initially I thought it would be the combination of legendary aspects and also unique effects, right? But what he mentioned is your skill points plus legendary effects and also plus other things which can give you a lot more skill ranks. So here he made a brief summary. So 5 points from the skill points of the skill tree, up to 6 points from the skill point effects, up to 3 points from the skill plus category effects, and also 4 points from the extreme resources that could have been removed during the beta, we're not sure. And in order to give you guys a better summary, we have some example of those gears, which I can show where you get those skill ranks from, and then we're going to the theory crafting of how to get a massive damage in the endgame for different builds. Now starting right away, I really want to highlight one of the unique piece of gears that is available in Diablo 4 after World Tier 3, I believe. So this is the Harlequin Crest. This is a helmet, and one of its special effects is to provide you with all of your skill plus 2 rank. That's everything on the skill tree, which you'll have a look very soon. This is actually incredibly good. This is like what, at least 20 or 30 skill points for free, right? Just with this helmet. So this is actually really amazing for any of the class, for any of the build. This particular helmet also provides gold fine and also cooldown reduction and also maximum HP. So this is definitely one of the best in slot items for many of the classes. Now similarly, we can have a look at some of the example of the gears I found in the beta. Now do keep in mind, currently those gears can only roll 1 on the skill plus, but later on, which we'll talk about this one, later on with ancestral grade of gears, you can get up to 4 skill ranks on those gears. So the example we have over here is going to be my amulet, which this particular amulet for my necromancer, it plus 1 to all the skill trees in the corp skills and also all the skills in the macap section. So notice that this doesn't just plus 1 to the skill, this plus 1 to the whole skill category. And this is actually one of the highlights from the developers. He was saying there is plus skill from the category of the skills. Now whether this can roll a 3 or maybe a 4, we're not sure at the moment. But from what I hear, you can roll up to 4 with this with ancestral grade. The minimum roll will be 2 and the maximum will be 4 for different skills. But this is not sure, not confirmed for the skill categories you see on the amulet. Now similarly, you can see this particular legendary pants in beta. Again, this is rolling on a maximum of 1 skill because it's a level 25 item. So what you notice is this can roll multiple skill effects plus ranks. So this necromancer pants rolled for corpse explosion and also for blood mist. Very good for the popular, necromancer build. And one thing you want to notice is, yes, you can roll multiple skill ranks on one particular item. And this is very soon we come over here to the Excels, which we talk about a different category of rolling for different ranks. Now, just as a small summary, and I do recommend watching our previous video, which talk about this in more details. So depending on the level of the gear we get and also the grade of the gears, now at the start of the game, if you don't go to World Difficulty 3, the maximum we get is plus 2 skill ranks. But if we go to World Difficulty 3, you have a chance of dropping secret items, which can provide up to 3 skill ranks on the gear pieces that is rolled over here. And finally, if you go to World Difficulty level 4, you can get up to 4 skill ranks with those gears. And this is after level 70. So this is definitely going to be the highlight to get the maximum damage for the highest rolling. Now over here you can see my previous Excel, and this is the videos I was talking about the gear progression. If you guys do want more information, definitely come over to this video. I have the links provided for you guys. So here I was trying to categorize different gears on what they can roll in terms of the plus skill rank. So for example, for the gloves, it will roll any of the core sections of the skills. So if we come over to the build calculator, we'll use the Druid example. Let's say if I'm going with the Druid, I'll reset everything to make it easier. So the core skill rank is on the second skill tree, which is the Spirit for the Druid. And you can see all the skill rank that is available over here. This is what you can roll on the gloves. So I'm trying to categorize everything over here. And thankfully, one of our very talented viewers, HalfMind, also was working on Excel, and you can tell his Excel is much more detailed and much more comprehensive than mine. So he's categorized item by armor, which goes from boots to gloves. And here he's categorized all the item types for different weapons and also different items. And over here you can see the different accessories. So what we're trying to do is, we're trying to find out what pieces of the gear can roll what stats. And initially I was just looking at the plus skill ranks, but you can see HalfMind over here, he actually categorized them into much more detail. Now what I want to do is, I want to ask for help with you guys as well, because we're limited by what we can see in the beta, and what we can see in the beta are the items we found in the beta. So this is why we don't have the complete Excel. We will be able to share the Excel with you guys once it's complete, and I can share this with you guys as well, so you guys can help us to see what can go onto what piece of gear, and this will help us to update what is Excel is available. And eventually we'll have an Excel which provides you with a lot of information about the best rolling of different pieces you want for certain items. So if we go for the example over here, we'll use the boots as example. You can tell the boots can roll for different special stats like maximum evade charges, and provide you with attack reduced cooldown by X seconds, and also provide with evade. Now sometimes you want maximum charges, sometimes you want reduced cooldowns, and after that you can roll up to 4 different effects with the boots. Maybe you want elemental resistance, you definitely want the plus skill rank, maybe you want movement speed on the boots, which is essential, and then you can go for the reduction to energy cost. So as we have more information, we'll have a more detailed category of the list for each of the items. And if you guys do have, more screenshots or more, views on different items on FX, do let us know. I'll have this Excel shared to you guys as well, to give you guys more information to understanding what you can get for any piece of the gear for Diablo 4. So a big thank you for HalfMind for sharing this one. Now coming back to our notes, so what we're up to is, we're up to over here, we're looking at the potential of level 70 and also beyond for the endgame. And using the Excels or what the FX things can roll, we can have a rough estimation of what's going to happen. So let's say if I'm going for a core spell, and I can get +4 of the skill rank on the gloves for the core spell. And then if my amulet, which is similar to this particular amulet that provides a category increase of certain spells, if this amulet also gives me 4+ skill rank, I'll be on 8. And finally, we know that there is a unique helmet at +2 to all the skills. So all of a sudden we get +10 to the spell rank. So this spell, what we're looking at, it is going to be a level 15 spell. And this will be incredible, right? Because if we come back over here, the basic calculator, the maximum you can go with the spell is only level 5. And this allows us to do tremendous high damage. And we're going to look at some examples over here. So from what we hear, and also from what we can see from some of the builders, which this one is actually pretty good with D4 build GG. So what you can see is, with some of the builders, you can see the percentage. So notice rend starts with 96%. Each click I provide will give me about 10% increase of the basic multiplier, which is the bleeding. Notice it starts with 96%, it goes to 106, it goes to 115, 125, and 134. Notice this scales upwards. So here I want to share you with some of the numbers of what it might look like if we get another 10 skill points onto a certain spell. So here you can see this is only level 5, right? So what this will look at when it goes to level 15. Now actually the example here I went more extreme, I went for level 18 of the skill rank, and we're using the example of 50% weapon damage. So let's say previously we saw this one was starting with the 96% weapon damage, but if the spell started with 50 weapon damage at level 1, providing 10% to each of the base increase of the spell damage, this will take us to 135% of the weapon damage at level 18. Now, from 50% to 135% might not seem a lot, but this is actually a 2.7 times or 270% increase of the spell damage from level 1 to level 18. And this is why we say, in the second example, you can see the list of combination of multipliers over here for the Druid companion build. This can hit a lot harder and over 10 million damage very easily. So now that we know we can combine legendary aspects, uniques, and also the higher spell ranks, let's have a look at one of the example we have. Is going to be one of a previous guide on the companion for the Druid. So some of the key legendary items actually provide a huge boost of the multipliers of damage. So this is what I had in the open beta. One of the gear here provided 200% increase to the companion damage based on what they already had, and this can roll up to 300%. And one of the higher rolls over here on the amulet is my werewolf companions now do another 150% more damage. So those multipliers together with the skill rank of level 18 potentially can give us a massive boost of damage. So here you can see some of the numbers: 270% from the skill rank, 300% from the two-handed weapon, 150% from amulets, and also if we come over here to the skills for the companion tree, you can see another 30% over here, another 20% damage over here, and also the damage just keeps going up, right? And the Druid also have an infinite reset if you go with enough crits. So this allows you to reset your companion attack spell, which is crazily good if you have enough critical hits. So ideally, a Druid would go with critical hits. Now, of course, guys, I'll have a more detailed build for this one. This is just one of the examples for showing you how much damage multipliers we can do. So ideally, we'll go with 150% critical hit damage, and Druid also have ways to get 100% critical chance, and also, different capstones. We also have massive damage boost from vulnerability, bonus damage, bonus crowd control damage, and all the other good things. So I did a rough estimate. We can easily hit over 10 million damage with this build in the endgame, with a really good damage on the two-handed weapon. And this will be the focus. The Druid will be going for a two-handed weapon for the best effects of the legendaries. Now, before we finish this part, I do want to know what you guys think about this whole combination of multipliers. What do you guys think about plus skill ranks? I was pretty shocked that this actually goes to plus 18, right? I was like, wait, what does it mean by plus 18? Then I had a look, and I want to give you guys all the information of how this can make it to 18, or maybe even higher. And also, what do you guys think about all the multipliers? I'm a little worried because maybe like Diablo 3, then you get like 10 bazillion or 10 trillion damage, then that'll be a lot. But you already see Asma got easily hit over 300,000 with Barbarian. And from the estimations of the numbers over here, we can easily hit over 10 million with a Druid with the companions. Now, there is a small highlight I want to share with you guys. At the moment, I had a look. There is no companions for the Paragon perks for the Druid. There is no legendary companions for the Paragon for the Druid companions. I'm a little sad about this because I really do think this build can work. But without the Paragon points that is legendary, this is a little concerning. And I'll address this one in a focus guide for the Druid companions in the endgame. Now, we also had some additional information I wanted to share with you guys. One of the things from Rod Ferguson is he mentioned that you can reset a single point of the skill instead of resetting an entire tree for Diablo 4. In case you guys didn't know this, I realized a lot of players actually didn't know this, and myself included. I discovered this at the very end of the beta. So how do you reset a single point in Diablo 4 is that you use your right click on the outermost skill tree of the skill perk to reset it. So let's say if I use example over here, let's say if I'm trying to reset my points over here, I right click it and this will take it away, and you can click it once and you don't have to reset the whole tree to reset everything, and this will dramatically reduce the cost of resetting because you're only resetting one point. Now, for the cases that if you're unable to reset, then what you want to know is, you want to know that this is because the skill tree itself has perked into other ones. So if you reset here, what's going to happen is, it will not allow you to reset until you reset the ones over here, because it cannot perk further. So in the actual game, what you want to do is, you want to reset the points over here first, then you can reset this point. And this will save you a lot of gold into the playing of the game, especially getting to higher levels. Now finally, we have some interesting stats. In case you guys didn't see these stats, I posted this a while ago. What's interesting is over 2 million people participated in the open beta, which is quite exciting for Diablo 4. And you gotta see the butcher rate. So only 1/3 of the players who met the butchers actually managed to kill the butchers. Less than that, because 1.7 million players versus the butchers, only 500,000 players actually killed the butchers. or 500,000 butchers were killed. So this is the highlights. There's a lot of other highlights and also include this one. You saw the rogue soloing the world boss. There's one player at least that did soloing the world boss. So there's a lot of nice stats I want to share with you guys, and this is actually getting me quite excited for Diablo 4 for the launch. Now before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too, and she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.